I am not good at selling myself in my resume, my CV. Some tips, please. Good career management is all about relationship management, relationship building, and selling yourself. If you're not great at selling yourself, you're normal. Most smart professionals undersell. But let me be open and honest and sincere. The market won't connect the dots for you. If your resume or your CV doesn't show your value, you will be ignored. In this video, I'll give you a clear method to sell yourself without sounding boastful. And I'll show you exactly how to rewrite weak content into strong interview winning evidence. I'm Martin Buckland, a global executive resume and CV writer. Welcome to episode number 238 of Tuesdays at 2. By the end of this video, you'll have a repeatable framework to write bold, credible, metrics-driven content to entice the reader at the other end. We'll cover mindset, structure, language, metrics, ATS, and common roadblocks like confidentiality, or I don't have the numbers. I'll even give you before and after lines so you can copy. And you can watch this video. It'll go on my YouTube channel as soon as I've wrapped this up, Martin Buckland. So go and look at my YouTube channel if you want to have another look at it, Martin Buckland. So if you hate self-promotion, reframe it. Selling on a resume is not boasting, it's leadership communication. It's three things: clarity, what you do, at what level, and for whom; evidence, facts and outcomes; and relevance, matched to the role that you are applying for. You're not asking for praise, you're showing proof you can deliver outcomes again. You are going to be hired for your performance, not because you are shy. The top third of page 1 is prime real estate. It's where you can articulate your value and create that wow factor and a sales proposition. Use it to tell a very striking and tight story. So at the top, you have your name in bold capitals. Beneath that, and not next to your name now because of ATS, the applicant tracking system. So underneath your name, you have your designations and other credentials. Then you have your location, your email. Never ever have a Hotmail, just email, not Hotmail, and a mobile telephone number, and your customized, not the default, but the customized LinkedIn URL, and your 10-digit Zoom address. So avoid putting contact info in a header or a footer. ATS doesn't scan or doesn't like any text within a header or a footer. Same applies to shading as well. So no headers, no footers, no shading in resumes. So the ATS won't read it. Then beneath that, you will then have your 15, 17 or 19 word personal brand statement, the clear value promise in one sentence. Then you have a 4 to 6 line block paragraph highlighting your soft skills and encompassing your one word leadership and communication styles and what you're renowned for in business. Now, don't duplicate what you're renowned for in business from your personal brand. Your personal brand is over here, and what you're renowned for in business is over here. Don't duplicate the two. Then you have your value highlights. So your top 3 or top 4 one-liners, accomplishments with as many metrics as you can get in there: percentiles, dollar value, British pound, euro value, whatever. Try and get as many metrics in there as possible. And so that's your top 3 accomplishments, and be very proud and use the English language to the maximum. Then you would have your core strengths or your keywords. These are the business, functional, skill, level, industry, specific, and sometimes geography buzzwords. So you can have a maximum of 28. So the ATS, the applicant tracking system, is also a database. So if your resume was in my database, I had ATS, and I would type in various buzzwords, so keywords, so skill, business, functional, level, industry, and sometimes geography buzzwords. And hopefully your resume will come out. So I see so many resumes without those buzzwords, and that's why they're not getting any interviews. Quite simple. Just that's the honesty. So executives and aspiring leaders should aim for 2 to 3 pages. Never, 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 never 1 page. 1 page will kill your chances of an interview. So never have a 1 page. And if you can have a 1 page if you've got less than 6 years experience, but more than 6 years, 2 pages, more than about 13, 14 years, 3 pages. So why don't you open a blank document and list your wins? Do a lot of brainstorming with yourself because before you actually come to writing and formalizing your resume. So think about all your accomplishments or wins, your launches, your product launches, or whatever, your turnarounds, your resurrecting your business, transformation, your cost savings, your cost growth, so your transformations, cultural changes, headcount reduction, systems integration. The list goes on and on and on. And then numbers, so built around revenue, margin, cost, time, profit, quality, safety, customer retention, engagement, NPS, cycle time. So think of all there's tons. People say they haven't got any accomplishments. When they sit down with me for half an hour, I can pull out 20 or 30 accomplishments, and they're absolutely wowed. So every one of you watching today, every one of you has a mass of accomplishments, but you need to think about it. When you write your resume, it's a thought process, and you need to dig deep into your mind and think about your accomplishments, because you're going to be measured because of your accomplishments, not because of your responsibilities. Too many people focus on responsibilities. That's the old way. I used to write responsibility resumes or CVs 30 years ago. Not now, never now. I've even used the word responsible for in a resume for 15, maybe 18 years. Then you need to scale it to the budget size, the team size, the number of sites, the number of countries, the products, the SKUs. So think of it, the more metrics you can get in there, the better it is going to be. So, if you're working in 10 countries or 60 countries, there's a big difference. So think about what you're responsible for in those countries. So you manage teams in, say, 1 country, 5 countries, 10 countries, 20 countries. Big difference. And then the context, what was the mandate? What was the constraints? Maybe budget constraints. What was the risk? What was the challenge? And your specific role. So if numbers are confidential, you can use safe ranges. So some companies, they won't let you, for obvious reasons, for competitive, etc. They may be private as well, family owned or whatever. They won't let you use too many metrics. So you can say something like cut costs by double digits, or 7-figure savings, grew ARR in the mid-teens. Then you need to concentrate on the role plus the edge, plus the outcomes, and plus the domain. So some examples here. A CFO stabilizes cash, strengthens control, provokes and funds growth across PE-backed industries and mining. A product leader turns inconsistent roadmaps into market traction, shipping revenue makers in fintech and data platforms. Operations executives, they lift safety, they can increase safety, throughput, morale, productivity. They can increase productivity in multi-site manufacturing. So you need to mention that, how many sites and what type of sites and what was the square footage of all those sites in total. So this is where you need to get into that numbers game. Just working in an environment, if you're multi-site, from 100,000 square feet to 1,000,000 square feet is big difference. There's a lot more responsibility, accountability comes into that. So you need to put all those near the top above the fold on the first page. That's where the prime real estate is. And you want to encourage the readers to read the rest of your resume. So each bullet should imply star, situation and task, action and result. So situation and task in maybe 2-3 lines, show a crisp action and end with a quantifiable, preferably result. So here's a weak one. Responsible for supply chain optimization. Here's the same one, very strong. Reduced lead time 32%. Freed 6.4 million working capital by redesigning S&OP and renegotiating vendor terms for 14 contracts across 4 regions. So here's another weak one. Managed software rollout. That's very, very weak. Here's the strong one. Delivered EMEA CRM rollout 8 weeks early and on budget. Generated a 98% adoption and 11% pipeline conversion in the next 2 quarters. So you need to aim for 3 to 6 bullets per role and star stories per role, and lead with the strongest and then go down the next ones. So no duties, no responsibilities. You do have numbers. Everybody has numbers. Don't say to yourself, be negative. Everyone has numbers. So you need to think in a wider perspective. The time, the days to close, the time to hire, the cycle time, on-time delivery, the scale, the headcount, the budget, the sites, the countries, the customers. How did you increase customer base from 30 to 50? What was the story behind that? There's a star story attached to that. The quality, defects per million, uptime, rework, complaints, the money, the revenue, margin, increase in margin, cost avoidance, savings, discount, and then there's growth in market share, win rate, conversion, renewal, and then people oriented. So retention, have you increased retention because it costs a lot of money to hire staff, and have you increased their retention from 1 year to 3.5 years or whatever? So have you increased their engagements? Do you get promotions from your team to the higher results, to the higher level? So when still sensitive, switch to ranges like low 7-figure, double digit, triple digit, the top quartile. So there's plenty of options for you when you write your resume. You need both human readers to decide, but the ATS, that applicant tracking system, is very sophisticated. One character wrong, one line wrong, one bullet wrong, and you're gone. It's a computer. You can never beat a computer. So it can block you. It blocks so many people who've got 120% of the skills that are required for the job they're applying. But because they haven't got an ATS friendly resume, they won't get through and they won't get an interview. So what you need to do is mirror the job posting. Look, scrutinize that job posting. Look for the title, the tools, the methods, the certifications, and the industry terms. And then you need to scatter those keywords that they're looking for. That is the business functional skill level specific keywords and other keywords, business industry specific buzzwords, naturally across the brand statement, the highlights, the role bullets, the stars, and a skills list with the keywords and the job, what the job is seeking. 100%. Try and match that job 100%. Never ever have a graphics heavy template. So those are the ones you can download for free or for $10 or $15 off the internet. They have shading, they're pretty, but they will never ever go through that ATS. So don't have any of those pretty templates. That's a foolish error. And then you don't have headers and footers in the resume. You have zero underlines, no fancy fonts, zero graphics. You have the standard headings. So professional experience, education, certifications, board appointments. The list just goes on and on and on. Community involvement, memberships and affiliations, presentations, patents. So you need to think about or separating them all into different sections. And if you have got patents, so you have presented in your industry, you need to show those, because those are in themselves a massive differentiator. You need to differentiate yourself. So always start bullets with strong action verbs. Never repeat an action verb between page 1 and page 2. You can repeat it for an executive resume between page 1 and page 3. So there's a whole long list. There's hundreds of action verbs for the same action verb. So propelled, executed, minimized, accelerated, devised, transformed, secured, reduced, uplifted, booted, launched, negotiated, stabilized, rescued, resurrected, scaled. There's hundreds available to you. So end with results, end with the result of the R for star, resulting in, or which drove, or achieving whatever. So here's the ban list. Never, ever, ever have the phrase responsible for. Duties included, helped with, worked on. They dilute your impact. Remember, you only get one chance. They dilute your impact with the reader at the other end. So have a factual, confident, tight tone, no baloney, and no cliches. Make it scannable. White space is your friend, but you can go down to margins. I go down to 0.7 of an inch all the way around the four sides. Use a legible font and consistent formatting. A legible font and consistent formatting. So keep the same bullets. Maybe have 2 bullets, but don't go any more than that. Never, ever, ever use Times New Roman. I bet many of you listening today have Times New Roman. Never have Times New Roman. Keep bullets in 1 to 3 lines where possible. Never go to 4 lines in the professional experience section. Put recent, relevant roles first, and then older roles in tighter summaries. So you squeeze it down. Add as many achievements as you can for each role. There is a rule of thumb, 1.5 star stories per year for the last 10 to 12 years. So for every 2 years, preferably 3 star stories. And the more star stories you have at this end of your resume, the current end of your resume, the better it's going to be, because we read from today going all the way back early on in your career. So let's go through some weak and some strong sections of or text for different functions. So first of all, finance function. Weak, handled budgeting and forecasting. So the strong is tightened forecasting to plus and minus 2% accuracy, cut SG&A 9% without headcount loss, funded a new innovative product line to reposition ABC Company as a global pioneer. Next one is operations. The weak is oversaw production across facilities. And the strong is lifted OEE from 71 to 83% across 5 plants by tackling and resolving bottlenecks and establishing daily Gemba cadence, combined with driving a notable uplift in staff morale. C would be commercial. So the weak is improved sales. How weak can you get on that? Improved sales. That I see this so often. It makes me cry, really, as a resume writer. People aren't They don't think about, well, there's a metric that attached to improving sales. And when you've got the word improve, what about the action verbs propelled, catapulted, boosted, uplifted, elevated? There's many more. So think about different action verbs as well. That's what it is. It's enticing the reader at the other end. So the strong one for improved sales is grew enterprise pipeline 38%. Closed the firm's largest 12.5 million deal by repositioning value and retabulating pricing. So if you're on a career change, your brand statement sort of just maybe slightly, or the top third of a page will change, and then you lead with what I would call transferable wins, using the transferable skills from your current industry to your new industry, or function to function. So and make sure you have all those skills, and only apply for a job that really you've got. Don't apply for a job where you've got anything less than 85%. What you think in your mind, 85% of the job of what they're asking for at the other end. If you apply for anything less than 85, you're going to get rejected. And rejection is a mental and emotional feeling, and people get down as a result. So the more rejections you get, the more down you get. However, the more rejections you get, the closer you are to a win as well. So you need to use a short career narrative line up. So something like after leading data-driven transformations, I'm moving into product scale those that I can deliver outcomes. So that would be in your cover letter. This is a big thing. Career break. Lots of people are taking career breaks today, and that's good. I actually, as a career coach, I encourage that, because it's good to refresh. It's good to take a break. And if you've got the financial assets to do that, I would actually promote that. And employers and executive recruiters are encouraging career breaks, but there's many different reasons to take career breaks. So be clear, be open, be honest, but be brief. So a career sabbatical for elder care. Lots of people have elderly parents, so they have to take time off to look after those elderly parents. So you're a caregiver you've taken a sabbatical, or you're an estate. You've got an estate, a complex estate, family estate, like I've got somebody right now, where they got properties across the world, and they're having to take a year off to deal with that estate, but the estate will fund that year off. So you need to talk about that. There's many academic sabbatical. You may take time to go back to study for a year. So you need to show that break. So you need to show it something like completed with a relevant course, or volunteered with the relevant work, and now fully available. Always be open and honest on these reasons for gap, because if you ignore that gap, then the person at the other end will think, there's something wrong here. This person isn't telling me the truth. And so you don't want to raise that doubt. So are you overqualified? I bet many of you have heard about overqualified. So remove the senior sounding text and highlight on more hands-on, more lower level if you feel you're overqualified. Match the scope and tools to the target level. And then coming back to the private companies, confidential results. So use those ratios, those ranges or percentages. Context sells even when numbers are masked. So number one in the mandate in line one, hired to stabilize X and grow Y. The scale could be, you need to put team budget, the number of sites, the number of products, so SKUs or whatever. Number three, 3 to 5 signature wins within metrics. You need to show your leadership style. How do you lead? Your culture, everybody leads differently. And then you need to show who are the stakeholders you reported to, were they board, were they regulators, were they unions, were they key customers, etc. So this sequence sells to both analytical and people-centric decision makers. So under your brand statement, add that 3 to 5 line punchy wild one-liners that preview your value. So something like planned and executed radical turnarounds that hold 3 in 5 years, all still profitable, or stimulated team engagement to push up productivity by 22% and employee satisfaction by 31%, or realign business operations to unlock cash, freeing up $18 million in working capital in 12 months, or drove safety first, TRIR, down 27% while output rose. These make you look good. So you need to seduce the reader wanting to pick up the phone and give you a call for further information or to call you for an interview. So executives and aspiring business leaders should list degrees and executive education that support the target role. If you've been on a knitting or a woodworking course, that doesn't apply. But you need to put pertinent information, pertinent education, and always update your education. If you haven't been on a course or any form of education in the last 4 years, you now need to think about doing something education. You can do a lot online today. So boards and committees show that you've got governance and governance exposure. That's very, very beneficial. So awards, patents, publications, languages. You need to show your languages as the world becomes smaller. Languages are very, very important. So show them as either fluent, advanced, or intermediate. Don't put basic, fluent, advanced, or intermediate. And then you place the education after the experience, unless you're early in your career or the degree is your key differentiator. Like I work extensively with EMBAs, Executive Master of Business Administration, and I bring that up to the front. So perform this audit before you actually send your resume. Perform this audit. Spend some time. The more time you spend on your resume, the better it's going to be. So here are 10 questions you need to answer before you send your resume. Does the top third state who you are, what you deliver, and for whom? Does it wow the reader and seduce them to read on? Number 2, are there clear metrics in the first 4 or 5 bullets? Clear metrics. Number 3, can someone skim and grasp your 3 biggest wins in 20 seconds? Number 4, have you mirrored the posting's keywords? Number 5, is every bullet an impact statement, not a duty? Number 6, are scope and scale evident? Number 7, have you removed weak words and filler? Try and remove those words like the and. You can, the English language is so amazing, you can remove a lot of filler words. Number 8, is formatting clean, consistent, and ATS friendly? If it's not ATS friendly, you're gone anyway. So you may as well not send it. You need to make sure that it's ATS friendly. Number 9, do you want to be interviewed for the role you are sending your resume? And is it selling for that particular role? Number 10, this is what you need to ask yourself. Would you hire yourself based on the document that you are sending? If you hesitate on any of those, you need to take a step back and review that audit again and work on what is missing from that audit or what is not good in that audit. So here are some brand statement starters. Commercial CFO delivers cash certainty, strengthens accuracy and governance, funds growth in mine operations. For the operations leader turns low morale, high waste plants into safe, high throughput performers. Go to growth driver, converts complex products into simple value stories that close. So the achievement bullet skeleton should be the action verb, what plus what you changed by what you did, resulting in the metric outcome. So an example, rescued 9.2 million at risk account by remapping onboarding and aligning SLA reporting, lifting NPS by 22 points. So what to cut ruthlessly from your resume, your CV? Job descriptions. We're not interested in job descriptions. Various duties and assisted with. We're not interested in that phrase. Dense paragraphs, irrelevant certifications and training, hobbies and interests. Not interested in that anymore. Ancient roles behind 10 to 20, behind 12 to 15 years with no outcome. So you can summarize them on one line each. And then finally, if you struggle to sell yourself, it's usually not a confidence problem, it's a translation problem. You're translating work into value. Use the brand statement, the headline deck, the proof stack, and the starlight bullets. Keep it clean, quantifiable, and relevant to the role you want. You need to spend 20 minutes customizing that resume, that CV to each role you apply. Never, ever, ever send a generic resume out. So I bet for some of you watching today and watching the replay, I've confused you. Probably, yeah, because there's a lot packed into such a short space. So if you want a more detailed one-on-one, free, no obligation resume or CV critique over Zoom, free, no obligation resume or CV critique for 30 minutes over Zoom, send it to this address below and send me your current resume and send me 3 days and times that were convenient to you. I work globally, so I meet your time. Got clients in over 20 countries as we speak. So send me 3 days and times that work for you, and we'll see if we can fit it in. And I'll give you 30 minutes, but I say it as it is, and I run through everything I've just talked about and a lot more. So you will get a lot about learn a lot about how to write your resume, your CV, and make it pass through that ATS and give it that wow factor. So send it to me at this address below, and I'm more than happy to give you a free, no obligation critique. I do say it straight, no BS. I say it straight. But I will give you those practical fixes you can implement immediately. I'm Martin Buckland, a global executive resume writer and a global executive career management practitioner. I manage and advance the careers of senior executives and those who aspire to be business leaders across the world. So remember, your career is your business. You need to manage it like a business. So many people don't, and then they fall foul. So for more on executive career management, please visit my YouTube and resumes. Please visit my YouTube channel, Martin Buckland. Press the bell button and press the subscribe button and press the bell button, where you will be notified of all future videos to come. So I hope I haven't confused too many of you, but those who are confused and want a free, no obligation critique, please send it to that address below, and I will be more than happy to schedule a 30-minute critique over Zoom, and you will gain a lot of benefit from that 30 minutes. Thank you for watching today.